Day 17. Welcome, guys. I'm glad you've joined me today. DC's Adventures Off the Grid Experiment Season 2. Some changes have happened recently. This lot that we have here is opening up really nicely. You might have just seen that gas can, and if you know, I usually do everything traditionally, and that means no gas. Everything except for we use the solar power. And there you go, you can see sky now. You couldn't see any sky. But I got the chainsaw brought down by my buddy because I've pretty much dropped all the trees I'm going to drop by the axe. And now I'm going to use the chainsaw to process them into firewood rounds. Because we're going to need a lot of oak firewood when winter comes. Because we will be spending at least 31 to 60 days in the canvas tent in winter conditions in Maine. We'll also be out here for fall, which is the most beautiful time of the year in Maine, and I really look forward to that trip. But the property's coming along good. By this time next year we should have a couple cabins out here, small movable cabins. I'm thinking about going with some Amish style cabins that they make and haul out to you. Or maybe I'll build a small cabin. I don't know. I'm looking at something around 20 foot by 16 or 16 by 20 foot. So yeah, I got a chainsaw and we're going to be working it. It's my first time really handling a chainsaw for any large jobs. So it's interesting. I don't do very well with mechanical items. And you also have to watch out because the cuts are even bigger with that. And that kind of brings me to, talking to you guys about cuts, because cuts in the bush can be pretty severe, and maybe people don't always understand what kind of cuts you can really get, because a knife, it starts with a knife cut, and a knife cut can be pretty severe. We have a guy on Facebook that we've seen recently who have cut his hand open pretty bad. And in knife cuts, pretty much anything you're doing with a knife, if you're doing it with an axe, you can times the cut that you get with your knife times 10 with your axe. And I'd say times that by about 2 with the chainsaw. But if you go and cut your finger with your knife in any deep manner, that same cut with your axe is probably going to cost you that finger. And if you nick your leg while doing a downward cut with the axe, you're probably going to have a gash that's going to be so big that you're going to have to stop the bleeding immediately, and if you don't, you're probably going to pass out and bleed to death in the woods, and you don't want that. So study up on your first aid, learn how to stop some bleeding if you need to. Tell people where you are, and preferably travel and cut with somebody else out there with you. Of course, I don't out here, but I do have a cell phone that works here now, and the neighbors are not that far. I suppose if I screamed loud enough for long enough, they might be able to hear me. But yeah, be safe out there, guys. Cut safe, and next couple days I'm going to process all this wood. We're only on day 17 here. I hear the thunder coming in, and it'll probably be another rainy one, but I don't know if you guys want to take a really good look at this property, but it's pretty cool. At the front of the property, back where the tent is, we're going to have the pine thicket, and you can see the pine trees, and just the pine trees. And when you come out here to where the cabins will be, these are all giant popples, and they look really nice actually. Once I get all the brush cleaned up here, this part of the yard is going to look kind of fancy. Alright guys, see you around. Day 19. Well, actually it's night. I've been working on trees and whatnot all day, and I've been trying to take it easy on that chainsaw, but I don't know. I think I might have already roughed it up pretty good. I don't think it can take all this chopping of oak trees that I'm doing. So I'm being lazy tonight, and I'm going to cook a backpack meal and just boil water so I don't have to clean anything. The Louisiana red beans and rice. I've tried this before, and out of all of them, it's the only one that I pretty much buy, and I keep 2 of those in my hiking pack with me at all times. And I'm going to Walmart tomorrow and I'll replace it. They're nice and light, and they do taste pretty good. And they're a lot better with sour cream. Wish I had some, but I'm going to Walmart tomorrow, not today. So, well, day 19. See you guys. Day 19, the backpacker's meal was just about finished, and I just heard something in the bush over there, and I was like, what the heck is that? And I mean, you can tell the difference between a 4-legged creature and a 2-legged creature. You can hear the different legs dragging and stuff. So I couldn't see it yet, even though I guess I was pretty close, but it was kind of just beyond the hill over here. But it got me so worried that I actually readied my sidearm and walked towards it a little bit to see if I could see what it was, and before I know it, it was a white-tailed deer looking at me. And it was probably about 130-pound doe. Turned around, white tail went up, and it started bouncing on out of here. But that's good to know that the deer are walking right up to the property. That'll make hunting easy this year, eh? Yeah, too bad I don't have any footage of it. If I had a game cam or something up, we would have definitely got it. I'm going to get one eventually and set it up here before November. November is the month you're allowed to hunt in Maine, and I do hunt for deer. So, yeah, see that in November. Day 19. Torrential downpour since last night. Alright, well, that was a lot of rain. It probably straight downpoured for like 8 to 10 hours, and then the rest of the last 24 hours was just raining. But cooking, we got a bunch of potatoes and onions and stuff in the aluminum foil under the coals, and then got half of a beef sausage, Pepperidge Farms or something like that, I don't know. I went down to town the other day, so I filled the cooler, and the neighbor gave me a bunch of bottles that were frozen, or I had put them in there at the neighbor's house a while ago. So, yeah, no water in the tent still. Some collects on the below the windows. The windows drip a little bit of water, but it doesn't really get in the tent, and you're on a cot anyway, so it's like pretty fortified. It's just like being in a cabin when it's raining. So far the canvas tent's pretty good. I like it. We got lots of rain. I filled all of my 5-gallon buckets with rainwater last night, so I'll take a shower later and have some water that's a little cleaner than the river. I gotta burn that box over there, and got some stumps cut up, but sadly, I got a little firewood too, but sadly the chainsaw didn't last very long. I don't know, I'm not very good with machines. That's why I've always done everything traditionally, because then I don't have to deal with the motor. My axe never acts up. The only time I have a problem with my axe is when I bury it in the dirt and chip it or something. So I need to get a felling axe, and I need to get a big push saw, something that doesn't require a motor that can cut logs up like that fairly easily. And I'll just do the work. It's good exercise anyways. But I'm back to using my axe, but the property is pretty cleared. You're seeing that's where a little either a little Amish cabin's gonna go, or if I can't get one of those in here, then I'm gonna have to build a small cabin, 16 by 20, and I want a little loft with a screened-in porch on it. We'll put something like that over there. We're gonna put a bathhouse over here, which will have a bathroom, probably have 2 toilets in it and a shower system, and it'll all be gravity-fed water with a septic under it. So it's coming along out here. I'm excited. It does suck that the chainsaw didn't last long. I'm going to have to get one that's a little more heavy duty, that is made for cutting giant oaks, because that's pretty much what I'm dealing with here, is I'm cutting oak wood up for this winter. This season 3 will be out here in the winter in the canvas tent, and we'll see how hard that's going to be. It's not going to be easy. But we are allowed to hunt at that time of year, and there's a lot of game around, and a deer just walked up the other day, so hopefully we can get some meat when that season comes up, and maybe the winter won't be so bad out here. I am going to take a quick trip to California to see some friends, and maybe go check out a buddy's gold mine and see how prospects looking at it. But after that, I'll be out here for at least a month to 2 months this winter. So I'll see y'all then. Still day 21. Got the big old 3.5 gallons of water boiling there. Once it gets boiling, I'll mix it with the 2 gallons in there, and we're gonna take a good old flower shower tonight. Which I'm excited, because I haven't taken a shower in a couple days and I could use it. It'd be nice to get cleaned up, and after all that rain, man, I set up the wood stove in the tent, in the canvas tent last night, because it was just so cold and wet in here that there was no way. I had to set it up and run it for a couple hours, dry everything out in here, and it worked pretty good. I still need to get another stove, because this stove was only $70 or $60 on Amazon. That's with free shipping. It's a military stove, but the black paint is still burning off of it, and I'm trying to get it all scraped off, but it smells bad, and it's not good for you to be breathing. And a lot of smoke leaks out of the front of that thing, because it only has a 2.5-inch pipe. So I'm going to get one with a 5-inch pipe on it, and with a better door that seals better, so you don't have so much smoke in the cabin. But I tell you, one of these little stoves drive you right out of here. It got so hot last night I was sweating bullets in here. August 15th, 2014. Just made some bannock, and I broke up a couple of those little fun-sized Snickers that somebody gave me. Put them in the bannock, and have a little bit of butter in there. And wow, talk about a great dessert. All cooked in the aluminum foil pie aluminum foil Dutch oven setup. It's going good. Been using it a lot. Almost every day I cook something in it. A lot of loaves. Day 23. I made another one of those bannocks with with some Snickers bars and a couple of Milky Way broken up, some of the little mini ones. And they're really good, actually. It makes a great nighttime dessert. This is what I eat for dinner. And because I've been eating potatoes and stuff earlier in the night. Or earlier in the day. But yeah. Here we are. Yeah, so last night there was a skunk that came into camp, and it was like doing all kinds of crazy stuff and running into everything, and it jumped into somehow got into the trash bin. I got it hung a little higher now, but it got in there and I could hear it completely in the bag, rumbling around all over the place. So I jumped out, threw a stick at it, and it went away, but then it came back and pretty much kept me up all night. But hopefully I have everything put away where it can't reach anything, and maybe it will just go away. But I don't know, we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted on the skunk situation. Other than that, It's all just the normal animals. But I was down at the river, there's a huge trout in there and I was trying to catch it, but it wasn't eating at the time, so it wasn't interested in what I was doing. Yeah, day 23, season 2. Alright, day 24. I figured I'd bring you guys in on this. Over the next 2 days I'm going to make 2 or 3 or maybe 4 different kinds of spears for hunting different kinds of animals. And this first one's going to be a fish spear for taking trout down at the river. And I'm going to be doing it entirely with the Ontario Blackbird SK5. I've been using it a lot lately, and yeah, there's some things it doesn't do that a big knife this size would do, but for sure the angle and the grind that's on it is made for carving and for making stuff and for bushcraft. So I like it. So I'm going to make these spears, and as I make them, I'll bring you in and tell you what kind of spear it is. But we're going to be doing it entirely with the Blackbird SK5 and maybe some paracord or shoelace or something that you would have on you all the time. Alright, I'll bring you back in when we're done with this first one. Oh, there it is. It's just a 12-inch piece of paracord securing it in there, and it's very, very secure and tight. It's not going to come undone. It's looped under and then tightened up from the top, kind of like you would do on a wrap on like an axe handle or something. You got these little loose ends, which if I had tied it right, they would have been only a little nub, but I left the little ends so I could see how it went. Sorry for the blood on the end here. I just got a squirrel with this thing, actually. No, I'm just kidding. That's just dirt. It's just testing it out. But yeah, she flies pretty straight. Take her down to the river and see how she her fracks. Oh, there's a fishing spear. Be back next with a more of a squirrel hunting spear. Well, night of day 24, so night 24. Just chilling out by the fire. Got 2 potatoes in there. They've been in there for about an hour, and that's dinner tonight. Some baked potatoes. I still have a little bit of butter left from the last time I went to town. It's not been on ice for a while, but I'm sure it's fine. Alright, August 18th. It's probably day 25 or day 26. Just went collecting some berries. I got a couple of bunch berries, which are almost out of season. I got some blueberries, which I guess are right in season, but a lot of the plants on my property don't have many berries on them because there's too many trees covering the sunlight, so you don't get many berries. Plus, you know, it depends on how the pollination goes. If you don't have a lot of bees on your property, then you're not going to get a lot of pollination on them, and you get a lot of flowers, but not a lot of fruit afterwards. Anyways, blackberries are definitely in season. I could have probably collected a whole jug full of those, and only half of them are in season right now. In the next 2 weeks they'll all be ripening, and I'll probably get a lot of those together and make some sort of jam or something. But right now I'm going to make another loaf. I'm putting the berries in it. We're using the aluminum foil Dutch oven. It's a really sunny day, so I have to get this thing back on the charger and get some solar charging while the sun's good. But I'll come back and show you, well, I'll mix the mix up and I'll show you what the loaf looks like before I put it in, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like done too. Alright, and there we are. That berry bannock. So I'm going to put the cover on here and put some coals around it, and yeah, I'll see you guys in about 22 minutes. I think it takes for a loaf this size usually. It depends on how hot my coals are. When you use an oak, it's a little less time. So see you in a couple. Alright, sorry there. I got so excited about how well it came out, I started eating it already. But there it is. The berry bannock came out really good. Aluminum foil pie pans, working out great. You guys might be thinking, wow, season 2, doing a lot of cooking. But I am working on the driveway over here and whatnot, so I don't really have time for building shelters and doing stuff like that right now. And yeah, I still have to eat every day, so that takes up about 2 or 3 hours of my day. Once I'm so hungry I can't take it, I'd start cooking. Another thing is, that's a big part of being outdoors. If you're going to live outdoors for a long period of time, then you're going to need to be able to cook, you know, at least well enough that you're going to like what you eat and be eating what you want to be eating. So you got to spend a lot of time working the coals. I got a couple potatoes in there too, so I'm going to eat some bannock, save some for tomorrow, for later, and then eat a couple of baked potatoes got in the coals there. I'm reading Into the Wild, or I just finished reading Into the Wild, and something that Arthur was saying about Christopher McCandless, the young man who went out into Alaska, is that pretty much his entire journal while he was out there was about what he ate every day. And that's because that's pretty much what you're doing. When you're in the woods, you spend part of your time building and constructing and gathering firewood and doing tasks like that, and then the rest of your time you're spending feeding yourself, either cooking your food or gathering your food or hunting your food, whatever you're doing. That's going to take up a lot of your time, and you've got to eat every day if you want to feel comfortable and have the energy to keep working. Oh, and earlier I think I said that there's bunch berries in this berry bannock. There's no bunch berries in this berry bannock. There was blackberries, blueberries, and brambleberries from Bramblebush. Yeah. So if I said bunchberry, which I think I did, scratch that. Bunchberry is a little weird, almost tasteless plant that grows out here. I think it comes out in fall. Anyways. Alright, it's August 20th, day 29. I've actually got a couple good days here, which has been nice. But I haven't been sleeping much at night because outside of the tent, the skunk is trying to find any food he can possibly get and making so much noise. And then inside the tent, I have a mouse. And I got a good look at it yesterday, and I'm almost 100% sure it is the mouse from season 1 that I was dealing with then. And it was driving me crazy. It was hopping all around my tent and climbing right up onto me yesterday, and I gave it a little whack on the head with the axe last night to kind of scare it out of the tent. But today we're going to set up a trap. We're going to have to kill the thing because it has cut me up for 3 nights now. Here are all the components. We tried this last season. Didn't catch anything, but this one I've put a little more time in. And that's my trigger. And then this is the hinge for our figure 4. I'm going to chew up some almond joy and put it on the tip of the trigger, so the mouse will have to really chew at it to get it off, and that should set off the trap. And we're just using a log that's split in half. Once it's all set up, it'll be plenty heavy enough to kill a mouse, but it should be light enough not to kill a gray squirrel. The gray squirrels aren't in season, and I don't want to kill a gray squirrel. If I kill it, I'll probably have to eat it, and I'm not too particularly into gray squirrels. But I'll bring you back when it's all set up. Well, there she is, guys. All set up. Bait's on it. Excuse me. Trigger set really light too. If you even touch that a little bit, it's gonna go off. Maybe I'll show you later. The chances of this still being up tonight is pretty slim. I'll probably have to set it back up again before dark. But this one's pretty good. I dug in the bottom one so the mouse easily get in there, and it would kind of be flat surface, so just walk right in there. And I don't know, wish me luck, guys. We'll see what happens tonight. Still day 29. It's almost evening. Trap's still set up. There's been some flies landing on it, so I mean, I guess its trigger's not so sensitive. The flies will set it off, but the flies are pretty light. I can see it's a really sensitive trigger. So hopefully it does something tonight. But I had a little snare set up too for the skunk right outside of his hole, so I could, when he came out today, he'd get caught up, and then I was gonna go and shoot him with the 22. But I feel bad, and I'm gonna be leaving in a couple days here, and I figured if I'm not here, he won't be bothering me, so I might as well just let him do his thing. And you don't really eat skunk, so I don't know what the hell I'd do with it. I guess just bury it somewhere. But anyways, I have been thinking that I'm only going to do 31 days, make this season 2 just summer. And then I might come out here for a few weeks in September and do a couple weeks in fall, but I'll probably just wait to put a fall season up in 2015, because I'm going to be here for the whole season. I have to go to California to do some work and go and see some old friends I haven't seen for a couple years, and go down to San Diego and visit some friends and everything. I'm trying to get a ticket so I can go to Yosemite or maybe out to Yellowstone on the way out there. So we'll see. If I do end up doing that, I'll definitely put some good videos up of it. So we're on day 29. We'll be here for 31 days. We got 2 days left. Hopefully we get our mouse tonight. And tomorrow my buddy Tide Inside will be coming up, and he's going to hang out and help me pack up for the last 2 days. So yeah, I'll see you on the breakdown probably. Alright, so I have my squirrel spear put together here. I actually put it together the other day when I was showing you that fish spear. The fish spear I've actually found works pretty good for squirrel size and small game animals as well, because that spread really pins them down. But when you have a spread like that and the points are so thin, they break really easy when you're throwing it at ground. You know, it's really a lot better for the water. So this is what I usually use when I'm on land. It's just a regular point. I do make the point a triangle, so there's 3 sides to that point, and it comes out pretty sharp when you do that. And then you heat it up in the fire, and then if you burn it a little bit, you might have to go back over it with the knife and make the triangle a little bit more triangle-y. But once you heat it up a couple times, get really hard, so that way you can throw it a couple times without the point smashing down on you. It is hard hitting a squirrel with something this small. When I throw, I try to roll my fingers off of it so the spear itself spins, kind of like you would do when you're like throwing a football properly. You know, you get that spin out of it. That's what you're trying to do with your spear too, because that'll really help it maintain the course that you're trying to get it going on. So there's the squirrel spear. I don't know if I'm going to put another spear together yet, because I also make another fish spear that's like a single barbed spear that's more for like ocean fish or for larger fish, and you might attach that to a rope so you can pull it back after you've barbed them. But I might not put one of those together until another season or maybe next trip out. So yeah, I wanted to take time to talk to you YouTubers and tell you that thank you for joining me here and watching our little off-the-grid experiment we're doing here in Maine. And Season 3 and Season 4, I'm going to continue doing these for a little while until the cabins are built and the property's all set up and ready for camping. And the videos will get better. I just took the whole summer off from work to hang out in the woods, so I don't really have the money to buy my GoPros, and I want to buy a a nice stationary camera too, so I can set it up on a tripod when I'm doing shots and get a lot more interesting video. And the GoPro is really a necessity because I mean, you can have it time lapsing in the river and see all the fish that come through all day long. You can time lapse at the top of the trees the whole sunset with the mountain range behind us. A lot of stuff we can do with the GoPro, so I am going to buy one of those eventually here, but I just have to get back out and do some work because I took the whole summer off. So thanks for joining us. This is night 29, and I'll be seeing you guys on the breakdown over the next couple days. Night 29. Something I forgot to mention is one of the reasons why I was gonna get the skunk tonight is because he made me so angry. Last night, he's been stealing food and whatever he can get and bringing it over to one of these holes, but last night, he didn't just take the food. I'm 100% positive I left my brand new $6 bottle of bug spray, 40 Deets bug spray, out. I left it out by the fire with my sharpening stone and a couple other tools that I just left out there. And the bug spray was gone today, and I can't find it anywhere. I looked all over the whole property. I've looked everywhere. It's like the skunk took the bug spray and probably has it in his hole. I looked in his hole, and there's all kinds of aluminum foil and stuff that he's found food at my fire pit those first couple nights, and he brought that down to the hole. So I think he stole my bug spray and brought it into his dang hole, and it made me so angry. I'm sure he won't return it, but I'm going to say something to him when I see him tonight. Well, day 30, I just went out there and the mouse trap had not been set out. Had not been set off. And he also ate all the chocolate bar off of the trigger. And I don't know how he didn't set it off. I guess the trigger wasn't light enough, but then I tapped the trigger with a stick and it went off. So it was pretty light. I don't know how he managed to eat all of the chocolate bar off of the stick, because I chewed the chocolate into the stick. And still he managed to eat it all off without setting off the trap. So the mouse won that one. So I guess it's the mouse 2, Dave 0. We'll get him. We'll set it up again tonight, and I'm gonna put some sticky stuff on it, maybe some gummies or something gummy on the stick, on the trigger, so he really has to pull on it to get it off. Well, day 30, August 21st, 2014. How's everybody doing? As you can see, last night it finally got cold enough here. It's not freezing yet, but it's cold enough that the leaf changeover has started. What actually caught my eye was this bigger maple here. Has one bright red leaf on it. Everything else is still green. But over the next 3 or 4 days, this thing start glowing like the coals of my fire. And yeah, I'm supposed to be leaving the next couple days, but we probably will come back out and do some fishing and do some shooting out here at the property in September, because fall is definitely the most beautiful time of the year in Maine, and you don't want to miss it. August 23rd, 2014. Alright, back in the city. We got a video manager pulled up on YouTube. We're getting ready to upload the season. Want to take a second to say thanks for joining me again. And afterwards, if you could rate, subscribe, and comment, that'd be great. I look forward to seeing everybody in Season 3 when the snow starts flying here in Maine. And we'll be relying heavily on that fire. Hopefully we'll get some hunting in and maybe bag us a deer. And sorry that this trip was cut a little bit short. I had some things I had to deal with, and I have to get out to California and get to working, because taking the whole summer off is starting to really kill me here. But hopefully I can get some videos out there on the West Coast for you guys, and some good camping spots at some of the great national parks that America has to offer. I also want to say a quick hi to all the guys over at the Bushcraft Trading Post site on Facebook, and say hi to everybody on my Google Plus, and hopefully everybody takes the time to watch Season 2. DC's Adventures Off the Grid Experiment 2014, Season 2, Summer in Maine, 31 days in a canvas tent. Thank you for joining us.